Welcome, guys. Hold on. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Today, we're going to do a new video series called Can I Get That Tone? Where I scour YouTube and try to get that tone. Anyways, today we're looking at Rabea Begins video. Well, Rabea Begins in general. So for my first video, I'd like to do Rabea Begins because I feel like he's like the quintessential guitar YouTuber, and his tone is immaculate. So right now I'm looking at this video titled "The Best Way to Use Quad Cortex Live." This video, I can tell you right now, this video has about 143,000 views. This video is pretty old, not old, but this year, about 8 months ago. This video isn't that old, it's barely a year old. This is the video I chose specifically because right now I can't do my hybrid setup because, surprise, I still don't have the cab yet. Still will make a video about that. Right now I'm picking this video because it's Rabea using the Quad Cortex by itself. Right now I'm just using my Boss GT1000. Again, that's like the point of this channel is the Boss GT1000 and the Marshall amp head. So I made the patch already. I made 2 patches technically because I don't have more than 2 distortion blocks. So I had to switch patches real quick, but that's going. I have Logic in the background. That's taking up all my fucking CPU, but that's besides the point. So I already made the patch, but I'm gonna go through the video and tweak things while we watch it together, kind of. I recommend watching the entire video yourself. I have the link in the description of the actual YouTube video. But yeah, let's get started. Let's see what he starts. I'm gonna start the video a little ahead because it's just introducing the tone and stuff and introducing the whatevers. So yeah, we're just gonna skip a little bit ahead and let's begin.
Therefore, we can do the first of our sort of, stereo tones. So you can go ahead and pick any amplifier you want. I usually, for me, I'm going to go with the Victory Kraken, or the Squid, as it's called in this.
So he picked the Squid. The Boss GT1000 obviously does not have a Squid or a Victory amp equivalent. And I forgot to mention, today I'm not using IRs. The next video of this series, I will use IRs. It's just that today I wanted to just like try out the integrated cab sims of the Boss GT1000. Also, if you want, I could probably add to the video before the con. It doesn't have multiple miking. So the next video I will do, I probably will use some software in Logic, the Nate IR. So I picked the amp called, let me pull it up on the screen. Oh, it's already pulled up. I picked the, where's Logic? Where is it? I picked an amp called Maximum. And the description says that Maximum is an amp that delivers a distinctively great response and tone of a vintage Marshall while making it even higher gain. Ha! I picked right! That's basically what a Victory is. Especially the Kraken. I think the Victory series is just modified Marshalls anyway, so I lucked out with that one, so I picked a good amp. So let me put that away, and just pull up the video. So yeah, let's keep going. We picked the amps that he picked, basically some a Victory-ish amplifier, if you would have to say. But yeah, let's keep going.
Modeler. Next thing I'm going to do is turn off the focus, and I'm going to set one of these amps to EL34 because I'm basically going to recreate my stereo rig that I've...
We can't do that. We don't have selectable power amps. This isn't like the HX Stomp where you could do that. I feel like if you wanted to emulate it, you could probably pick one of these amps and just fuck with the EQ, probably change the presence, because that's what the power amp is. It's just EQ and presence control functionally. So you could probably do that, or you could probably slide one of these EQ blocks and slide this EQ block, pull it to in front of this amp or this amp, and kind of emulate a switchable power amp of the Victory if you really wanted to do that. Just today, I'm just trying some stuff out. I think it sounds pretty close to what we have. Obviously, we're tweaking what we have now.
to use. Next, I'm going to get a cab. Now, I'm going to go with something like where would it be? I'm going to get a V30, I think I'm going to do. So we'll start with the V30 95, and then I'm going to go with something like V30. The 01 and the 03 are pretty good. Maybe I'll go all the 69. Don't know.
So obviously we have very limited cab sims, specifically simulations, in the Boss GT1000. You could load IRs, and if you really wanted to be accurate, you definitely would load IRs. Next video in this series, and like the series continuing forward, I'm gonna use a ToneNet to get all my IRs and, you know, share whatever I pick. He's about to play. Let's pull up our patch real quick. Disable these because later in the video he'll specify it. But yeah, now we just have amps. This is what his sound like, and this is what ours sound like. We'll adjust accordingly. But let me pull up the. So this is what our patch looks like so far. You know, anything past that we don't have to worry about. We're just looking at this, as that's what his patch looks like anyway. So yeah, that's what we have right now. So let's keep going. Let's see what it sounds like first.
Sounds.
All right, sounds cool. Let me adjust. Let me see what his sounds like.
Good. Maybe I'll go all the 69. Don't know.
His has more like middle and bass information. I already kind of got it cranked. Let me turn down presence. Make that 16. Also make that like 16. Okay.
Sounds pretty good.
He has a lot of bass information. It's super rumbly. Oh, I'm using the Digitech drop for the drop tuning, so that's that. I'm basically using the front end of my pedal board in order to get some extra signal through everything. I'm not going to touch the gain because later in the video he turns it down anyway, so it won't sound super similar, but that's what we have so far. Sounds pretty good.
But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to my mixer and I'm going to hard pan these.
So in the Boss GT1000, it's kind of hard to hard pan left and right. You could probably go here and add spread. Let me see what that sounds like. Does not sound great at all. Yeah, the Boss GT1000 isn't great with spread. Basically, what you could do, kind of a cheat code, is just kind of do this. Right? Do a little bit of that action. This is what it would sound like. So the only reason I didn't do that is because Boss GT1000 doesn't have like a mix, a proper mix knob. So like I showed you, you could probably do that and it'll like spread it closer, but it sounds pretty good. It sounds accurate for what it is.
I've done that is to create a stereo image.
I will say, yeah, the Quad Cortex does sound really good and has like a million, trillion, quadrillion different fucking amplifiers. So
I'm going to check my split is set up, and obviously you can have this in A, B.
ha! Boss is open. Oops, let me take that off.
balance, and basically all that's really doing is deciding how much level you're sending to each split, or balance is just kind of doing the same thing with the balance knob. So I leave that in the middle. It means we're getting equal amounts of signal sent to each amp.
Yeah, the Boss GT1000 like could kind of do it, but the Quad Core 6 is just better at it. I will say, I will concede that the Quad Core 6 is just better at splitting signals.
So now that we've done it like that, it basically means that we're sending the 6L6 Kraken with the V3095 to the left, and we're sending the EL34 Kraken with the V3001 to the right.
And I think you could just, let me pull it up again. I think you could just pick a different speaker for for these amplifiers. So like for this one, oh, you have this 412 right here. I want to change it to this one. See, it's kind of doing the thing already, right? Let me pick the third 412. Not a fan of that. And the fourth one, I think I picked the third one. I like the third one a lot, or the second one. There you go. I just did the thing. There you go. I stereo spread that. That's fucking good.
And you can check this by flipping the phase.
We can't flip phase in.
Clearly out of phase.
Can't flip the phase in Boss GT1000. I looked for it real quick before recording, but I couldn't find it. There's probably a setting, maybe.
And we can also turn down one side to double check, and if you want to triple check, as you can clearly hear, we're only affecting that side. So
yeah, the Boss GT1000 can do that. Let me pull it up. Sorry. Go to this split and then do single. There you go. Sounds really good. Would I say accurate? With the Boss GT1000, yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate.
now we've got our sort of stereo pan sound.
All right.
The cool thing is any effects that we put in front of this now are going to hit both amplifiers, which is really, really cool. So I like to have compression, I like to have overdrive and fuzz. And if you want more space, of course, you just move these along so that you can give yourself a little bit more space out of this side. And then something else that you could do before we start going into row 3 for all our time-based effects is maybe add an EQ if you want to do something where you want to EQ the sound before it hits the reverb and delay. But we're not going to do that in this video. The next thing I'm going to do,
if you were a Boss GT1000 user, you'd probably consider doing that because there isn't a power amp emulation setting or anything. You could control sag, but that's pretty much it.
is I'm going to add my reverb and delay. So in this situation, I always put delay first. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a stereo analog delay. And I'm going to put it in ping pong mode.
All right, first effect is ping pong delay. Can the Boss GT1000 do it? Yes, in a way, ish. Let me disable. I totally forgot to disable the mic during playing sections. Oops. And we pull up the Boss. Boom, right there. So I already have it preloaded. So this is what the delay sounds like. Sounds really, really good. Let me turn off my mic real quick. Amazing. Let me switch to the bridge pickup real quick. It's like no gain, but well, we'll get the gain. Trust and believe.
Boost the feedback a touch. Bring down the modulation rate.
Like that little lick. He goes, Let me turn off the mic for that. One thing I forgot to mention, his pickups, I think they're bare knuckles. If you wanted to get even closer and sound better, you probably, instead of using a drop tune, you just straight up, sorry if you hear my girlfriend, instead of using the Digitech drop, you probably just change the actual pickup in the guitar. And obviously choose like a closer guitar. He has a signature, I think, with Music Man, so pick that up if you want to get even closer. I like that little lick. He said, super cool, super cool. Rabea is such a good fucking player, man. Holy shit.
Cool. Next, I'm going to add my reverb. Now, I always like the Plate Lush. I think it's just one of my favorite sounding reverbs in this. It works for the kind of reverb I like. I'm going to bring the...
I keep forgetting to take off the fucking... I'm so sorry, guys. This is my first video doing this. I'll probably get even better, but let me pull it back up just to show you. He's using a plate reverb, right? So we got that pulled up already. Boom. Sounds like this. Sounds wicked, man. Really fucking good.
High dampening up. And drop the mix a little bit. Boost the decay.
Yeah, I pretty much dialed in the settings that he got from the video. Really good.
The low pass and the high pass.
Awesome. Oh, sorry. Did I show the settings? This is what the settings look like for the. Oh. Motherfucker. There you go. There you go. So that's what the settings look like for the plate reverb. I got it to sound pretty close, pretty good. You probably tweak the settings to sound even closer than that. I'm just like kind of hip fire in this video. Probably come more prepared for the next one. Sweet stuff, man. So boomy, like such a nice boomy low end. You know what? I'm gonna see if I could just max it out on the amplifier. Let me see. Probably won't sound great. Dude, just like fucking 95, dog. Fucking 95. Yeah, I think the GT1000, that's like the harder thing to replicate. And I picked a pretty good amp sim for it. That's basically what the Victory equivalent would be the maximum. Is that what he played? I don't know. Let me see. Sweet.
Cool. So that's sounding really good already. Now, something else that we could do is we could change up this to a dual delay. And the reason I'm going to do that is because...
Again, I would encourage to watch the whole video yourself. I'm probably going to skip some parts because he goes through like a few settings that the Quad Cortex has. I'm just going to skip a little bit ahead and go to the next part or the next addition to his signal chain.
Is I'm going to add a fuzz. Now I like to use the Thunder Paw, which is the Thunderclaw, and it's awesome. As you can hear, we've got some noise now, so I'm going to go and turn on my gate. Now these are the settings that I generally like to do. Bring the distortion down like.
So as you can see on the tab right there, I Googled like, oh, what the fuck is a Thunderclaw? The Thunderclaw is not strictly based on any existing pedal, though it does use several building blocks from other distortion designs. The input section and clipping arrangement resembles a rat. Oh, huge hint. It's a rat pedal, basically. And Rabea says so himself, he likes fuzz. So let's see what he does. Whew, sounds nice. So let's see. We do have an equivalent of a rat pedal, just called the Rat. It's right here. So I basically got the settings down, and this is what we sound like so far. Real good. He has a noise gate. Mine is on my pedal board. Obviously, you could probably put a noise gate inside of your signal so far. But let's see what he played. Let's copy it. Let me play that one more time without the mic. Hold on. Huge. Nice.
Now if I turn on that,
So he added a tube screamer in his signal chain after the rat, or thunderclaw, I should say. I already did it here. Oh, sorry, let me pull it up. So I already put it here. The Boss GT1000, you could probably use the SD1 because, you know, Boss has a version of the Tube Screamer circuit, own proprietary design based on the T-Scream or Tube Screamer. But we already have one, so we don't have to do that. So this is what it sounds like. He's an A minor, right? And then put it on. Huge. My mic was on. Sorry, you probably heard string noise. Oopsies. Let me do that again. Huge. Let's keep going.
great.
So he put a compressor in the signal. We have, well, I think his compressor that he has is like FET based. I don't think we have an equivalent of that specifically, so I just kind of picked the next one. So this is what it sounds like. Probably too much. Turn it down a little bit. And put it on with the then put it on with the tube screamer. Oh my gosh, I didn't even show it. I'm so sorry, guys. So we have an equivalent here. I picked the decomp just because it sounds like, okay, this is what it sounds like. Be like. Turn the mic off real quick. Sweet. Let's keep going.
So we've got all our effects going in there. Now, something else I might want to do at this point is add a delay in front of the amp. So go ahead, and I like analog delay.
Obviously, we have some type of thing like that in the Boss GT1000. Oops, let me switch patches, and because I have it on one of them, so I don't. But I think I put it on and then turned it off by accident. But we could just do that really quick. Let me grab a delay 2. Where is delay? Got a delay over here somewhere. Let's grab this one, and then I just do a little bit of. Uh, 283 maybe? Yeah, something like that. I don't have a tempo map, so that's why. If you wanted to get like a rhythmic delay, you'd put a tempo map on it. I could show you in another video, not this one, just because like it's a little rough.
Too much more. I might put, another fuzz. In fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to put another fuzz, the silicon fuzz. So the silicon fuzz is based on the Bender. This one is actually my personal JHS Bender, and again, it's a great sounding fuzz. So let me just take that off, and you can hear how it sounds.
So obviously in the Boss GT1000 we don't have like a silicon fuzz specifically. I opted to use the in the other patch because we don't have more than 2 distortion pedals. I opted to use the muff fuzz because it sounds like pretty good. Sounds close to what he was doing anyways. So he's using it by himself, right? Super noisy. Not bad. Yeah, it's not bad at all. I just realized I forgot to show it. So this is what the muff fuzz looks like. Those settings. Play a little bit more. I will say that the fuzz in the quad cortex does sound a little bit more natural. I know that Boss has really good fuzz emulations. Like that one was as good as it was gonna get, but I don't know what the quad cortex does, man. But I think I like both of them, I would say.
Overdrive my octave, my compressor in front. There isn't really much more to say about the rig. Where it becomes interesting and where it becomes really fun is we can go ahead and sort of create scenes now.
Ah, yes. Scenes. We can't do scenes. So the best thing I could do is just the best thing you would do is just copy and paste the patch into different patches itself. So you have like 6 patches. I think he has 8 scenes in total. Yeah, you'd have to make 8 different patches. So I guess we could just go through and just kind of see what they would sound like. So his clean patch would sound like this. Obviously, he demonstrates it in the video, but again, I would recommend you watch the whole thing yourself. So this is what his clean tone will sound like. Let me turn off my mic. And this is what his more gainy tone would be like. You could probably either have both or all three distortions technically if you'd have to like select a different patch to do that. But this is what his more gain tone would sound like. And then just ham it on even more. Add the second distortion on top of that. Real nice, real nice. But yeah, that's basically his rig in that video in the Boss GT1000. This is what the fuzz would sound like. I'm gonna just keep the mic on. Hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. Maybe I could just mess with it. And that's the rig. Thank you for watching, guys. This was almost an hour. What? That's crazy. But yeah, the next video is definitely going to be much better. I'm gonna have more. I'm just gonna have better stuff, man. But yeah, this is the first video in the series. Like and subscribe. And yeah, thank you.